We'd been best friends for 13 years, but in all that time, I'd never once spent the night at Leo's house. So when he finally invited me over, I thought it was just a normal hangout. Pizza, video games, maybe a movie. But from the moment I stepped inside, something about that house felt wrong. It was old. The kind of house that feels like it's been standing forever, watching the world grow around it. The smell of polished wood mixed with something else, like wet earth after a storm. Leo's mother moved nervously from room to room with a smile that never reached her eyes, while his father just sat in silence, staring at us with these cold, heavy eyes that didn't blink. When they finally left around 7, Leo tried to act normal. We played games, ate pizza, laughed a bit, but I noticed he kept glancing at the clock, and right before 9, he paused the game and said, "There's one weird rule my parents have. After 9 p.m., we stay in this room. We don't open the door. Not for anything." I laughed, but he didn't. He told me to use a bottle if I needed to pee because we couldn't step outside. The clock downstairs began to chime. Bong, bong, bong. Before the last strike, Leo bolted the door shut with a thick steel latch. That's when I realized this wasn't a joke. He was terrified. At first, it was quiet, but then we heard it, a slow, rhythmic thumping from somewhere below us. Then a dragging sound, like someone pulling something heavy across the floorboards. I turned off the TV. "Leo, what is that?" He didn't answer. He just stared at the door and whispered, "Ignore it. It goes away if you ignore it." Then a voice came. Soft, gentle, familiar. "Leo, honey, your father and I came home early. I baked cookies. Open the door." It sounded exactly like his mother. Every word, perfect. Too perfect. But the sweetness in it felt wrong, like someone wearing her voice as a mask. The voice came closer, right up to the door. "They're your favorites, sweetie. Chocolate chip?" Then, knock, knock, knock. Wet, heavy knocks, like meat hitting wood. Leo shook his head, pale as chalk. I whispered, "It's your mom." He just mouthed, "No." And then the voice changed. "Boys, this isn't funny. Open. The door." The door shook under a heavy blow. The knob rattled violently. Then the voice twisted into something inhuman. A gurgling, broken sound that whispered, "No! You're in there!" Black tar-like liquid began seeping from under the door. It smelled like rot and grave dirt. Leo hid under the blanket, trembling. I just sat, frozen, listening as the thing outside began scraping its claws along the wood. Finally, the noise stopped. The silence was worse. I couldn't help it. I crawled to the keyhole to look. Leo begged me not to, but I looked anyway. What I saw, I still can't forget. It was tall, impossibly tall. Its body made of sticks, shadows, and dust. They wore Leo's mother's floral apron over a hollow chest. It had his father's hunting cap on a head made of darkness, and in its hand it held a family photo, pressing it where a face should have been, as if wearing their smiles. It tapped on the door again. Thump, thump, thump. Then it spoke, in my mother's voice. "Liam? Why are you hiding in there, sweetheart? I came to take you home. I almost opened the door." Almost. But then I heard it laugh. A dry, scraping laugh, like leaves on concrete. That's when I knew this thing didn't just mimic voices. It learned them. It fed on them. Hours passed in the dark while it whispered through the crack, calling our names, pretending to be everyone we loved. Finally, Leo spoke. He told me the truth. The house was cursed, built generations ago on unhallowed ground. His ancestors had made some sort of silent pact, During the day, the house was theirs, but from 9 p.m. to sunrise, it belonged to something else. They called it the Nightman. It didn't have a body of its own, so it borrowed things, wood, pipes, fabric, even memories, to build one. The rules kept them safe. But lately, the creature was getting stronger. Leo's family believed that if they offered it someone new, it might leave them alone a little longer. That's why they'd invited me. I was the offering. The moment I realized this, the scraping stopped. The whole house went still. Then we heard it. Heavy footsteps on the stairs. Thump, drag, thump, drag. The door shattered inward, and there it stood. A monster built from the house itself. Its arms were metal pipes. Its legs were floorboards. Its torso a cage of wood, and inside it, my duffel bag, pulsing like a heart. Its head was the family's old grandfather clock. The pendulum swung behind the glass like a single frantic eye, and all the voices it had stolen spoke at once. Time's is up. It lunged at us. We tried the window, sealed shut. We flipped the bed and used it as a barricade, but it tore through it easily. Then I saw a flashlight on the floor. When I shone it at the creature, it screamed. The light was destroying it. Its wooden limbs cracked. Metal parts melted. The shadows peeled away. We spent the rest of the night like that. Me holding the light like a sword, Leo crying behind me, the creature lurking in the corners, waiting for the batteries to die. As dawn approached, the light flickered. The monster roared and charged, but at that exact moment, sunlight broke through the window. The beam hit its back, and the thing froze. Then it collapsed, breaking apart into dust, pipes, and wood. When Leo's parents came out, I thought they'd be relieved, but they weren't. They looked at me with disappointment, like something had gone wrong. And then I realized the horrible truth. They weren't hoping we'd both survive. They were hoping it would take me to spare their family another year. The sacrifice had failed. And as the morning light filled the ruined room, I understood something terrible. When the sun falls again, the Nightman will be hungry, and next time, I won't be the one he's coming for.